A quarter square triangle or a half square triangle, or I am joining blocks that are the same repeatedly, I will layer the fabrics together, right sides together, and here I've got one layer of the blue, 2 layers of the cream and another blue underneath. This makes it much easier when I go to sew my pieces. They are with the piece I wanted them to be sewn to. I'm going to make a quarter square triangle, and taking the quarter square triangle I have set it up at 4, which is the finished measurement. So the block will finish at 4 inches. I will tip it upside down. This is why we don't put thumb screws onto the triangles. I will then use the 2 rulers together to get a measurement of a strip that I require. So I've loosened the screws on the 24-inch ruler. I will bring the black fabric guide to the clear ruler, and underneath the black fabric guide to the point of the clear quarter square triangle. Tighten it, then do the same at the other end. I will then come back to the first end and just make sure, loosen it off and just make sure that that is the exact measurement. And that is the measurement for a strip to cut to make quarter square triangles. I will then bring the black fabric guide to the edge of the fabric, again holding the ruler down, cut a strip of fabric. Now I will cut quarter square triangles. Bring the guide to the edge of the fabric, holding the ruler from the front. Cut the first cut this way. The second cut I actually start at the back. It gives me a guide to bring my ruler, my rotary cutter into the fabric, and cut this way. If you will notice, the rotary cutter is actually pulling this way. It is not going forward towards my fingers, and I will not damage the rotary cutter on the point of the tool or damage the point of the tool. To cut the second set of triangles, we'll just bring the guide to the edge of the fabric and bring the ruler to the point where the last triangle finished. Hold the ruler down from the front. I have one set of triangles and another set of triangles. This is the fastest way I know to cut quarter square triangles. All the seam allowances are built in, so the only measurement you do need to know is the measurement of the finished block. And that is the strip cut. Then you will piece your quarter square triangles together, stitching the short sides together. Make 2 sets, stitch another 2 together, and then you will join these 2 sets together. Half square triangles, again, the tool measurement includes all the seam allowances, and I'm going to make 4-inch finished blocks, so I've set the guide at the 4 mark. I will tip this one upside down, using the 18-inch ruler this time, loosen the screws, and again bring the black to the clear and the black to the clear underneath. Do the same at the other end, black to clear, and come back to the first end just to check that measurement. Now I will cut strips of fabric on a 45-degree angle. We want the bias to be in the centre of the block. So I will line the 45-degree line with the edge of the fabric, just coming slightly over the edge of the start of the corner, and hold the guide down and cut the first strip of fabric. And I will just cut another 2 strips. As I showed you earlier, if your ruler is not long enough, you can just bring the guide into the edge of the fabric again and continue to cut along. I will now take a couple of these strips up to the sewing room and sew a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance down each side. The advantage of making half square triangles this way is the bias has been sewn when the fabric is in the strip. Therefore, I am not going to be stretching the bias after I have cut the triangle out, which can alter the shape of your triangle. So once I've sewn it, I will then, using my half square triangle, bring the guide to the edge of the fabric, again hold it down from the front. The first cut on this side and the second cut the same as the 1/4 square coming down. I have cut one, bring the point again to the edge of the fabric, hold it down, that's my second set of triangles, the third one, and now I will just flip the fabric over and I will cut out the 4th triangle. Each of my triangles is the same size because of the way they are cut. I have a few stitches in the top to open out, and then I will just press the seam and have my finished 4-inch half square triangle. It's the quickest, easiest, most accurate method I know of making half square triangles, and the wastage of fabric is minimal. The only job I have left to do now is to take them to the ironing board, press them, and then trim off the dog ears.